All right, in this video, I want to talk about a principle around humility and self awareness. And this is understanding what you know and what you do not know, and how to take that and use it to both learn from experts, but also protect yourself by making sure that what those experts are telling you is actually true. Because if you're like me, you've probably had experience with experts who, despite having great qualifications, they're an expert, they give you completely the wrong advice. And so the first principle we have to go over here is something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And there's a graph that I'll put down below where it basically shows, so as you're learning something new, you start to learn, and you think you know a ton. About 1 year into the journey, or a certain percentage, let's say a tenth of the way in, you've got all of this new knowledge, you know so much more than you used to, and you think you know everything. And this is actually the most dangerous point of the journey as far as being wrong goes, because you do not know what you don't know. They call this the peak of Mount Stupid. And so this is one of those things where we get to this point, we think we know everything, we haven't learned enough yet to know what we don't know. And then as you become more and more of an expert, you start to doubt yourself. You start to wonder, like, is this really true? Like, look at all those people. They really know what's going on. And then slowly you start to build up into this confidence. But you still have this lower level of confidence where you know there's all of this stuff you don't know. You're not up at this peak where you were at the very start. And if you're lucky and you know this principle, you never have that Mount Stupid experience. You have that level of knowledge 1 year in, but you go, okay, I'm 1 year in, I probably don't actually know everything. Okay, I get it. And then we get over to here. So eventually we get to this kind of like crisis where it's like, do I really know what I'm doing? And then we get to this point where we're a little bit more confident in our expertise, but we're also very respectful of the amount we don't know. And this is where we are as coaches. So any of your coaches who have been doing this for a while, we've got the experience. We know a ton. We know a heck of a lot more than we knew 1 year in, than we knew at the very beginning. But we also know that there's a lot that we don't know, and there's a lot that we have to experiment with. So that's piece number one. Know what you know what you don't know, and be very clear on that. Now, the second piece of this equation is, how do you take something where you've got this expert who they're at this level that's way more advanced than you? How do you know that you can trust them? How do you know that they're the credible expert, that they're the expert that's actually going to take care of you and that's going to get results for you, and not that other expert that I had mentioned, not even necessarily peak of Mount Stupid, but the expert that just, they give you advice and it just doesn't work. And how you do this is you test and you look at the results. So you use that expert's expertise, you trust that expert's expertise, but you still evaluate the results you get from what they're doing. So you don't say, hey, I know better because I've been doing this for 30 days or a year or whatever. You let the expert give their expertise, but you ask questions. You question them, okay, why is that this way? What will happen when I get there? And then you see when that expert says, hey, we're going to do this and you're going to gain this amount of strength. Or, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to test it and see. And you're looking for, what does that expert do? How do they interact with you? Are they checking their results? Are they testing to see? Or are they just saying, just do this, this is perfect, this works for everybody, and kind of like blanket absolute statements like that? Or are they saying, okay, we're going to try this, we'll test it out, we'll see if it works for you, and then we're going to see how your body responds? Is that expert asking you questions? Hey, how do you feel? How's your energy? Are we seeing results? Are we seeing progress? That expert, if they're asking those questions, is actually looking for feedback from your body, and they're asking you about the one thing that you are more of an expert than anyone else. What's going on with your body? What are you feeling? I can't tell you what you're feeling. I'm not an expert in what you are feeling. I might know when you're feeling XYZ, it's probably this or it's probably that. But until I ask you how are you feeling, and until we test out that possible solution, we don't know if it's going to work or not. So this is how you know whether you can trust an expert. This is how you balance that need to follow the experts, but also be sure that you're actually getting advice that works, because you could follow an expert for 2 years and get zero results. And if you're not checking to see like, hey, am I actually getting results? Is what they're telling me actually resonating? Are they asking questions? Are they actually digging into what's going on for me? You don't know whether you can trust them. So you need those questions. You need to have that back and forth between you and the expert. So the expert's the expert on what gets results. You're the expert on what's happening to you. And when the two of those go together perfectly, when that communication happens, that's where we get magic. That's when we get the amazing situation where the expert is able to maximize their knowledge and maximize the function of their knowledge in your life. And you're also able to give feedback on what's going on for you. So don't get caught up in that thinking that you know what to do, thinking you know what's going on. You might have read a book, you might have read some articles. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I think I know nutrition pretty good. And then we talk about it and we realize that they've actually got no idea what they're doing because they're towards that kind of peak of Mount Stupid. They're at least humble enough that they're asking for help. So to call it peak of Mount Stupid is kind of rude. But they feel like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm just not getting the results. And so they come and ask for help. And it's because of this, the way this curve works. And it's not their fault. This is literally human nature. We get to this point, we think we know because you can't know what you don't see. We've got unconscious biases. We've got things that we don't know that we don't know. And so what can you do? You can't know that you don't know other than just as a general principle, assume that you have things that you don't know that you don't know. And so it's the same even for us over here on Expert Island. We still don't know things. And I know there are things. So when I go to set up something for nutrition, this is why I'm looking at testing. Hey, this thing works awesome, but we're still going to test because I don't know what I don't know about that thing, and we need to test it on you and see if it works. Maybe you're that one person in 50 that it doesn't work for, and I haven't run into that person yet, so I don't know that yet. This is where the testing is beautiful. This is why we do the process the way we do. It's because it balances the use of expertise along with the actual practical functionality of what actually works. And none of us get stuck in that spot of assuming we know everything and we get blocked by our biases that are completely blinding us from what's actually going on. So test, retest, ask questions, look for experts that are actually inquiring on what's going on for you, who are asking you about the thing you're an expert about, your body, and go from there. Use their expertise, use your expertise, and blend the two of them to make an amazing relationship that works incredible for getting you results.